back on this Tuesday morning. What a beautiful morning it already is out there. Jimmy Gill is here with us this morning. Get you some coffee, Jimmy. High temperatures today. We're going to see it at 97. We're about 72, 73 degrees already this morning. Going to be some full sunshine. Partly, well, actually partly cloudy skies. Only 20% chance of those showers today and tomorrow. Pretty much the same forecast for tomorrow. Your weekend looking like the biggest chance for rain. We're at 40% chance of showers Friday, Saturday, possibly even some rain on Sunday, but it's still too soon. We've got a big birthday party to go to Saturday, so we're hoping for no rain. I know how that goes. That was the same way with Maddie's birthday party. 80% chance of showers, and it's a pool party.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful day.
It turned out great. Turned out great. What's your topic today?
Well, I'm talking about older adults and this unrelenting heat.
Okay.
Because
it could be very dangerous.
It can be deadly. And older adults, especially frail older adults or people with chronic conditions, have unique needs.
Most of the time they're cutting back on that thermostat anyway because it's budgeted not to have high utility bills.
I have been seeing on the internet and on television instructions for turning the temperature up to 78 degrees inside the house to save on money. Now that is hot, but you know, we don't want to have a blackout, we don't want to have a brownout, you don't want to spend all your money on, you know, air conditioning. But that's fine for a younger family, but if there is an older adult, a frail older adult, or one who has a heart condition, a circulatory problem, this could be deadly.
Really is a serious situation.
Because older adults who are frail or with chronic conditions need to set that temperature about 73, because when they set it at 78, it overtaxes their body and their heart starts beating fast. That leads to confusion, and so it can really be serious.
Could be bad.
Yes, and combine that with older adults not drinking enough water.
Ooh.
Yes, older adults, their thirst mechanism is not actually working like it does properly for a younger person. So they don't know when they're thirsty, and so
their dehydration levels are not
and so picture an older adult with a heart condition or diabetes in a house at 78 degrees, not drinking, and then all of a sudden they get up, they're stumbling around, they're confused. So you cannot sit that at 78 degrees.
That's way too hot, way too hot. What are some, you know, there's some things they can do, maybe close some of the doors in the house and shut those vents that way.
Right. Well, in fact, I pulled out an article that I wrote a few years ago, and it says that especially if an older adult does not have air conditioning, to wear light clothing, drink more fluid, open the windows in the morning.
Okay, definitely get a fan.
Get a fan, and don't exert yourself a lot. So, you know, common sense prevails. And I also found out that many older adults who have air conditioning are reluctant to turn it on. They're trying to save money. So the other thing I want to emphasize is go check on people. Check on your neighbors, check on people that you know are alone, check on someone who has some cognitive impairment, because they may not know they're getting into trouble.
Sometimes it amazes me where someone lives right next door to an elderly person and they never check on them.
You need to be checking on people. You know, one of the biggest heat waves in history was in 2003 in Paris. And 15,000 people died.
Oh my goodness.
Dave and I were there on the front end of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it continued for 3 months.
That's a lot of people.
The majority of the older adults who died actually had the ability to get out. They had meals coming in, they were mobile, but they just got into trouble because they didn't drink enough, they didn't take these precautions, they didn't get a fan, and no one checked on them. Their immediate neighbors. So yes, please check on people.
Wow. Okay, great information, Dr. Jan White. And do not put those thermostats on 78.
Please don't.
Cut back somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely.
Try to anyway.
Please do.
Check on your neighbors, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right, speaking of our neighbor in here this morning, Benny. We're headed over to Benny. A little local and loving it first, though. It's all his.
And speaking of old people and turning the air conditioner on, the only help I need is paying my bill now.
What about this jacket?
And one more thing before we go to the jacket. It's going to be 109 today. Please take care of our animals. Give them fresh water and plenty of shade if they're outside. Bring them in the house and turn the air conditioner on.
What about this jacket?
That jacket is about 40 years old. Now, when I was I was in a suit club for $3 a week for 50 weeks, and they said you can have a suit made of your choice. And I had this one made. It's got my name on the inside of it, specially made for Benny Thurman. They didn't know Brindley Mountain Benny at the time. But
how long is this story?
It's about 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left. But I would play on Channel 31 the cerebral palsy. And I knew Adrian Gibson from 1962 when I would go watch him spin 45 records on WGAD in East Gadsden, Alabama. And he was the director up there, and he would say, Benny, play as long as you want to. And people would complain, he's playing too many songs. We're not going to get as many songs on there. And but anyway, Johnny Osborne, they were from Gadsden, and they were real good friends of mine. Johnny Tona, I'm going to stop and see him down at the nursing home when I go back today off of Whitesburg.
Play, Benny.
Okay, so much for that story. But I've got a lot more to tell you, and I'll wait till a later time. Here's the Hank Williams song. Tonight down here in the valley, I'm lonesome and know how I feel. As I sit here alone in my cabin, I can see your mansion on the hill. Do you recall when we parted? The story to me you revealed. You said you could live without love, and your love mansion on the hill. I've waited all through the years, love, to give you a heart true and real. 'Cause I know you're living in sorrow in your loveless mansion on the hill. The light shines bright from my window. From your window, the trees stand so silent and still. I know you're alone with your pride, dear, in your loveless mansion on the hill. In your loveless mansion on Brindley Mountain, yeah. Thank you very much.